I wrote down 128. Next to it, I wrote down 192, then 224, 240, 248, 252, 254, and 255. Just memorize this, and you write this down. And these are the subnets, okay? Just memorize this. This is something that will help you. And underneath that, starting under 255 from right to left, you write down 1, then you write down 2, and the rest is just power of 2 as you go forward. So 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, and 128. Okay? And as you can notice, they're right above each other, right? Underneath that, this is something that I do. This is just for my visualization purposes. If you remember earlier from the slide, I showed you that there's 32 bits, right? And there's 4 octets equaling 32 bits. So I write down 8 zeros, and after the first dot, I write down 8 to let me know that I just passed 8 zeros. And the next dot, I write down 16. That tells me I passed 16 zeros. And then the next dot is 24, same thing. And then the last is 32. So this kind of just visualization purposes, I know how far I am along. And this helps with actually the subnetting. So once you have this little chart going, we'll go ahead and take this number. So let's go ahead and find out what the subnet mask is. The first thing you do is you look at the /29, right? The CIDR notation. Remember we said that tells us what the subnet ID is, right? The network ID. So we need to find out what /29 is. So we take 29, and then we come down here and we look at this chart right here, right? So 29 is bigger than 8, right? Bigger than 16, and bigger than 24, but not bigger than 32. So what we do is we take 32, which is right here, okay, and we subtract 29 from it. Okay, it gives us 3. Alright, so we have 3. So the next thing you do is you look at the second row here, okay, that I created. So you take 2 and you raise it to the power of 3. Okay, and that equals, well, let's look at it. 1, 2, 3. That's 8. Okay, you write down 8. So now we know this network, they increment in 8. Okay, so it's 8, and then we look at 8, and we look at 8 right above it, and that's 248, right? From the chart, that's 248. Well, there you go. That's your subnet mask. So it's 255.255.255.248. Okay, 8, and we just look at it right above it, 248. Simple. Why didn't I put 248 here in the third octet or the second octet? Well, we did that because remember 29, it says /29, right? So 29 is bigger than 8. It passes that first octet. It's bigger than 16. It passes the second octet. It's bigger than 24. It passes the third octet, right? So that tells me that the subnet ID is somewhere in the 4th octet, right? That's why I wrote down .48 in the last octet. That's how you'll know. Whichever octet the number resides in, that's the portion that you write down the number in. So 255, 255, 255.248. I hope that made sense. Okay, so now we need to find out what the network ID is. Well, we know that the network will increment by 8, right? So we can either write this down. So here, for example, I'll write down the IP is 168.173.70. Now here's the thing, 70.0, right? 168.173.70.8, because remember they increment by 8, right? And we just go down 16, 24, 32, 40, so on and so forth, right? Because they keep incrementing by 8. Well, the last ID, so the last IP is 134, right? 134. So let's take this and we keep going down. Okay. 48, 56, 72. And that's 136. The next one is 144. Right? 144.